Hey guys, so today I wanted to kind of talk about my thoughts on managing one's energy, which is going to be different based on who you are and what your personality is like, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. In my case, I'm an introvert, so I manage my energy like most introverts. And I'm a very hardcore introvert, to be honest. And how I do that is the more activity I have, the more I have to interact with people, the more I have to go out and, actually do things, the less energy I get. Like, it drains me slowly. So, like, I love my friends, I love my family, I love all of them, but the more I have to interact with them, the more exhausted I get. And I can do that for a while, but eventually I start getting stressed, my body starts tightening up, I may get a little more snippy, especially if I've had to go all day without having any alone time. And that's how I recharge, is alone time. And basically, my best way to recharge is just to, go on a walk like I am right now, or read a book, or sit down and watch a show. Oftentimes I'll just sit down and think and all that. But I don't get a lot of, joy out of hanging out with large groups of people. It's not really a fun thing to do for me. It doesn't mean I dislike it. It just means it drains me, it wears me out. And after a while, I have to go back into my cave and kind of, recharge my batteries. The thing is, there have been points in my life where I didn't really understand that, where I would be out all day, and not have any opportunity to be alone in my mind, or I would work jobs that had excessive amounts of people interaction. Like, I used to work in customer service quite often. Like, I worked at Starbucks and Subway for a while, and especially Subway was just a killer for my mind. I was in the worst place in my life at that time, and a lot of it was because I was just not catering towards my needs as an introvert. I should not have been in a situation where I have to constantly deal with shitty people, and the problem is you had to deal with one after another, and there was no guarantee whether the person was going to be crappy or not to you. And that really stressed my introvert brain out. And I wasn't a very nice person back then. If you knew me back in 2008 and 2007 or so, it was very easy for me to go off on people. It was very easy for me to be snappy. My relationship at the time kind of fizzled out, and I would say that was my contribution to that fizzling, was just me not being a great person, because I just wasn't catering towards my needs as an introvert. And it actually took me a long time to figure out that that's what I need to do. You can't go against your personality. You can't push against it. It's just not something you should, because if you try to go against how you get your energy, it's just going to stress you out. For example, an extrovert's can be the opposite of me. They're going to get their energy by going out and doing things and hanging out with people. And a really extroverted person, they're going to want to go out and do things all the time. And the more they do things, the more energy they get. But if they do what I do and lock themselves in their room and don't talk to anyone, they're going to get stressed. And I have a very extroverted son, and he hates being cooped up all day. Things are actually usually pretty rough for us over the winter for that reason alone, because he gets stressed. He doesn't like being cooped up. And it bothers him because he wants to get out and do activity, and he's not getting his energy. So it's the same way when I don't have my opportunity for alone time, I will get stressed. But if he doesn't have the opportunity to socialize, he will get stressed. So, and a lot of people kind of will criticize people who are overly social, or criticize people who, are like me, who like to be cooped up and all that. And you shouldn't do that. If you have friends and family, it should be pretty easy to recognize if they're introverted or extroverted. And you need to, not only do you need to cater to your own needs, you need to respect the needs of other people in your circle. Because if you don't, you're going to stress them out. Whatever it is, whatever their requirements are, you need to respect it, and they need to respect yours. But you can't expect them to respect your needs unless you respect theirs as well. And for some people, it's easier to respect the needs of others over themselves. And then for others, it's easier to respect your needs over those of others. A lot of that has to depend whether you are, like, I don't know. And this is going into the typology a little bit, so you probably don't know what I'm talking about. But it has to do with whether you're an extroverted feeler or an introverted feeler, which actually has nothing to do with whether you're an introverted extrovert or not. So that's a whole conversation for another day. Anyone who knows about Myers-Briggs know what I was talking about right there. But back to the original point, just figure out how you best can manage your energy, because if you don't keep your energy levels right, you're just not going to get anything done, and you're going to be stressed, and you're going to be unhappy, and that's no good. And we don't want that. No one wants that. Everyone should be as happy as they possibly can be, without, infringing on the needs of others. And that is where it becomes complicated, because if extroverts and introverts have, opposing needs. So you have to be diplomatic and understanding, and you have to compromise with the other people in your life who may get their energy needs differently than you do. Because if you don't, you're just not going to get along, and you guys are going to be stressed. But don't take it out on each other. Just realize that everyone has different needs, and it's extremely important to manage them, because if you don't, it's just all going to suck.